Okay, so the Iran war didn't take 2 weeks, and the Trump administration is starting to realize that they can't overthrow Iran with airstrikes alone. There are talks of boots in the ground in Iran, which is a wildly stupid yet increasingly possible idea.
Ta-da! Steak, capri salad, asparagus underneath, garlic bread that I already been into, lobster.
Oh, big on to the libs. Yeah, the military's being real chill all of a sudden. Isn't that weird?
So I work at a strip club next to like several military bases, and something I have noticed lately is all the military guys are coming in and they're spending all of their money, and they're just like, it's sad, like they're like kind of depressed, and they're like just coming in like, oh yeah, we're gonna have fun, like we're getting, what is it called, deployed?
Man, there have been a lot of people with a way better understanding of all this war stuff. They could offer way better analyses on war and ground invasion of Iran than I could ever dream of providing. So I'll just give you my stinky analysis while applying my heavenly and impactful contribution of cracking jokes. Comedy, because it's my preferred drink of choice for dredging through life and numbing the horrific pain of the world. So when I was in elementary school, 5th grade to be precise, there was this kid who is really cool, but one day he shit his pants on the bus while we were taking a field trip to the Wetlands Museum. This wasn't a cute little turd that he could shake out of his pant leg. This was like a full-on fudge monkey. Like a sagging back end type of situation, you know? Before we left, the teacher specifically asked everyone if we had to use the restroom before the ride began, meaning this was completely avoidable. And this kid, let's call him Adam, he was just like the cool kids from the cartoons and the Disney Channel originals, nonchalant, always smirking, and he was kind of mean, but not in a bully way, but, you know, in the way that popular kids are kind of lightly mean to not other themselves or try too hard. And he remained kind of cool and socially powerful from middle school to high school, but it was common knowledge that he shit his pants on the bus, and whenever he tried to give anyone shit, even if nobody in the room was on the bus when it happened, they would bring up that time that he shit his pants on the bus. He tried to pretend like it didn't bother him, but it did. So eventually, maybe like junior year of high school, he stopped being mean and became more or less an average kid who was kind of popular, had a friend group, but he knew he couldn't fly too close to the sun because people would bring up that incident. And then he was forever associated with that humiliating failure. I'm a whole ass adult now and I'm tearing open this wound, talking about it right now. Adam, if you're watching this, myself and everyone you went to school with will remember this until the day we all die. So applying the story that we just learned to geopolitics. The US, they are refusing to use the restroom before getting on the bus. The teachers, that's literally everyone with an understanding of Iran as a country and how much of a nightmare military target they are. Anyone who got fired for telling this administration, hey, this is a horrible idea, they're just like the teachers. And now the US is being positioned to do the geopolitical equivalent of laying a huge fudge monkey on the bus and being forever humiliated. Especially if the US is actually brain dead enough to take the bait and do a ground invasion of Iran. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen. Man, it would be bad if it happened. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but it would be objectively bad for everyone in everything. I mean, unless you're an accelerationist, then I guess you would be stoked. But still, this war seemed somewhat inevitable because Izzy wants it and Mama gets what Mama wants, I guess. You can't convince me that establishment Democrats wouldn't have been on board with this eventually. It seems as if people like Chuck Schumer are more upset about Trump not getting permission first to bomb Iran. Although if it was spearheaded by Dems, the details would be different. They definitely wouldn't deploy ground troops in the mainland, but they would bomb the shit out of Iran while also doing this the whole time. You know what I mean? The old, But I do know one thing, and that is I do not know what is gonna happen next. It's all up in the air. But let's just hope that Trump doesn't take the bait and listens to Iran's really funny war propaganda and actually goes for a ground invasion, like, good God. Again, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I wouldn't put it past him. This wouldn't be another Vietnam situation. This could potentially be way worse. It could potentially be the most devastating and horrific military campaign failures in modern history. It could very well be the death knell of the fading empire finally biting the dust. Like the very idea of this, throwing grapes into an open fan. Iran is an impenetrable fortress of a country. There is logistically no good place to invade. You want to invade from Pakistan from the east? Well, that's laughable to think that they would ever agree to that. Even if they did, good luck. Good luck moving supplies and soldiers on a single road in the hottest fucking place on earth. Like completely discarding how much of a supply line nightmare that is. Take an amphibious approach from the south? Well, the only place where that would work is Khuzestan. Just skip along the landmines and heavy defensive military infrastructure in an already high resource draining operation and ignore threats of Iran striking Gulf state desalination plants in retaliation. What else? You forgot about the Zagros mountain range, an impenetrable wall. Good luck moving supplies over that. Take an amphibious approach through the Caspian Sea to the north? Oh, you forgot about the other fucking mountains. The two problems here are you are going to melt in the desert and you cannot move supplies through mountains. The geography of Iran is a death trap. It is hands down their most valuable defensive weapon. And that's not to say that you can't get troops into Iran. You can. But keeping them alive? Completely different story. Iran doesn't need to overwhelm the US military in shootouts to win the war and drive them off. They just need to bleed the supply line and make sustaining an invasion physically impossible. They are more than capable of doing that while picking off soldiers, demoralizing and breaking any confidence held by invading forces, and dragging feet, disrupting the economy, mounting pressure to abandon the war in the process. Sure, they don't have a military as impressive as the US's, and by extension Israel, but they are more than formidable, specifically for the purpose of holding out and defending themselves. The IRGC has lots of soldiers, lots of drones, lots of missiles, lots of tricks up their sleeves. And they also, of course, have home court advantage. The US was hoping that some outside force would take advantage of this, or the inside would happen to overthrow the leadership so they can install a new one, but neither of those things are happening. Their bluff is being called. If the US really does want to send troops in, they would just be sending them to their graves. And you could tell they're running out of ideas. You heard about the new supreme leader? I heard that he's big time gay. Oh, this will be big for us. So I do not think that they are going to invade Iran's mainland to start. Instead, they will attempt to get a foothold on the Strait of Hormuz to open things up and alleviate the blows to the economy. That requires taking islands. That's going to be logistically impossible as well. Iran can control the strait from their mainland with outposts and missile launch sites tucked away in the mountains along the strait. The US could go in and take control of Karg Island, but it's going to be worth a wet fart because doing so won't keep the strait open, and they are not going to keep that island for very long at all. It's fucked. The entire thing is fucked. But that doesn't matter. What do you think? Trump is going to back down and let the entire world laugh at his administration for laying the fudge monkey? No, that's embarrassing. Trump wants to pin the fudge monkey on anyone who he can, which most realistically, that's going to be the next president. He's just going to let this be their problem, and they're not going to want to take responsibility, so this could potentially keep dragging out for a long time. Unless Trump or Netanyahu are dumb enough to drag nuclear warfare into the equation. All we could do is just pray that doesn't happen. But I wouldn't be surprised. I would not put it past Trump to push for a ground invasion, despite how horrible of an idea it is, just as a symbolic way of upping the stakes and showing how dedicated he is to burn in a never-ending war. And if the lives of all these soldiers are worth the price, if we happen to succeed at this, which would require the government to successfully capture public opinion through the media whilst a staggering recession looms overhead, and do so more effectively than in the 2000s in a time of political polarization in order for no guillotines to be dragged out in front of the White House after some time, if they were to manage all of that, it would still take like 20 years to realistically get Iran to stand down, if that. This is going to wreck the world economy and make all of our allies hate us. Really good for Russia's oil industry as well. This dumbass war that Israel dragged us into is going to be the fudge monkey that makes all of the high school girls laugh behind our backs. Oh yeah, America's the Chuck Norris in militaries. Well, how about that time you blasted your shorts on the way to the Wetland Museum, huh? Yeah, we didn't forget. Okay, I'm done yapping. I got a Patreon. Got some cool stuff over there. Got some wonderful people supporting me. Go check that out. As always, have a wonderful day and show me my patrons.